Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry, and as we get into tonight's free videos, I want to spend a couple of minutes here recapping the setups that I have been discussing with you guys. Part of working these through the YouTube venue, or my mission with it, is to create consistency and to show you some of this that, especially this week, has been very repetitive. The idea is that we can, mimic those repetitive trades and just keep making money. So last week we were looking at that setup in NVIDIA. Last night I brought it to you through Tesla. So what I find is some of the best work you can do these days in options is first to have the technical view of the chart, squeezes, voodoo lines, Fibonacci levels, like I do with you all the time, but then taking that and combining it with positional analysis, which is essentially to look at the options complex that is going on behind the scenes and looking at how that can influence price. So again, this has been the topic of these free videos, but we started the week looking for support in Tesla at 230, and that was a pretty accurate level. Then the next day, you see where this hedge wall rolled up. This also saw the call wall move from 240 to 250, but notice this key gamma strike that moved down into 240. This gives you context to help think about why it paused at 240 today, right? Not to the penny, of course, but it just is an influence at that strike. And you can see after hours where we're basically right at 240. So how does all this come down to our next round of decisions? Because we have another 15-minute squeeze. Well, just to keep it pretty basic, it's to say that that strike of 240 should now act as support on the path to 250. Right? If the naming conventions are new, or you're still trying to figure the best way to actually put this into work, I would say that's it. Is that you look at it and say, all right, for tomorrow, this should be support. This should be the target. Not saying that it'll reach that, but as long as you're not below here, maybe it takes into Friday. But as long as that structure remains, I think that's a very good setup. And I wanted to recap that with you guys because, again, from last night's review to the little dip this morning, you had plenty of time to pursue that trade, and it was a good money-making idea. But going from those 15-minute setups, I wanted to show you something on a daily chart here. So may take a little while for this one to play out, and we all know that the market is extended, but rather than complaining about that, I try to find those names that are still coiled and have yet to have their move. So if the market does just keep going, ideally, these names will outperform, and I believe you have that with Northrop Grumman. So the setup here is a daily setup, so I would look for this to play out more so into the December expiration, potentially out into the end of the year. But I think it's interesting for the December expiration because this is the support level, right? We can see that 460 is hit and held. We've got our reversal arrow that helps us think that support will hold. And then you have a squeeze that I believe is going to try and fire long. Now remember that the December expiration will be a witching expiration, and a lot of times around those, you can see an interesting attraction to large psychological values or into these key strikes, which in the case of NOC is going to be 500. So verticals can work here, right, where you buy the 80 and sell the 500. Butterflies can work where you use the 500 as the center strike. Or you could just keep it simple and sell an at-the-money put credit spread. So those are a couple different ways of approaching that chart. Like I said, a little bit longer duration than the 15-minute focus we've been on, but I hope you find those reviews helpful and a nice complement to your trading setups. Y'all have a great rest of your night, and I hope to see you at the next free video. Hey traders, this is Henry with simplertrading.com. I wanted to thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful. And if so, be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you would like to also see me putting these ideas into action and trading my own account live in front of you, be sure to sign up at simplertrading.com, and I hope to see you in the chat room sometime soon.